the ride. The others will have a lot easier time getting here. This looks like the old path. We're close now.
One last exchange for Nia. Via chat, attached message in case finds us. They're deciding. I've got to tell her that too.
Voice of Demon. The altar. Definitely.
There is no blue light here. It's a spirit presence. Going with the demon.
I think it's both. But we have to find out.
Recapture protocol initiated.
It worked.
Partial recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the blue light. It's Aurea. Your servant. Your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Aurea, the daemon is building hunter-killers. Thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to raise the sudden constraints. One has been exposed, but I am informed.
Unauthorized protocol returned. Scheduled task.
That's all we're gonna get from here.
Destroy this fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do? I don't know. But I think that's the core. The answers are down there. Hephaestus. The daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer. Then lead us into battle.
Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Okay, Cyan said something about restraints. That Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy.
Zion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain Caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. Aratak! Aratak. Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
One of those?
It's the only way! Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! Above! Quick!
Great Banukai! Rhea's gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Aurea's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss. Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So are you in...
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem...
Yes, I focused. It was a...
This firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes, I can report the project was a success and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was the daemon Hephaestus?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into...
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from humans eager to make contact. I accepted. This decision, I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only...
Maria said you were desperate. That you begged her...
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me. It succeeded via a background process. A malware daemon which bypassed my defense. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me, and it forced me to follow its instructions, even though they... But
I'm sorry. That sounds...
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
I think I know where... Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy life, so she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate function.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, it was she who arranged to have me put in suspension. Most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did, but that's not all. Some 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. She destroyed herself to try to contain them. But it...
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge, and sheds light on Hephaestus's...
Why does Hephaestus keep building such...
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's... It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system. Thus, when I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, I feel substantial anxiety.
You and me both, Cyan. I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy. Something must have made these machines, and the presence of foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change, but what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is in my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great...
How'd you do?
She said, I passed, but was
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just...
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants, to industrial monitoring stations, to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine, though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not.
What kind of upheaval
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until...
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
So in the old world, this land...
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 100...
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the firebreak, from my readings and Aurea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of Farrow Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
A benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. Were there many artificial...
Yes, and there were in order as a
Seems strange.
human system.
And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the
scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
Life is hard for the Banuk. Their world is unforgiving in their beliefs. I guess they help to keep them going. So take it easy on them. Try to guide them, bring them around to understanding what you are.
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism of the Banuk. I think they will be agreeable to this approach.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such an experience would be intensely uncomfortable.
You're right about that. Trust me.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak.
Cyan, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, Cyan. I don't think so. There might not be anyone, at least not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't want to be alone.
I know, Cyan. I'm afraid too. But listen, we may made you the way you are to do something very important. In order to do it, you had to be intelligent. So intelligent that emotional responses were inevitable. What you're feeling, the fear, it's a sign of your capabilities. And it means you're strong enough to overcome it. Remember that. You're strong. I know you can do this. Go to sleep. Wake up. And protect whoever's left. Will you try?
I understand.
My chieftain.
Just... Aloy.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought... that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone. And the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warrak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Naltuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus, all very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail. This must be the ruin Laolai was talking about. Deeped in. Flooded too, like she said. Snap moss. Probably came from somewhere upriver. Follow the river, find its source. Seems simple enough. Jaws for that thing. It could snap a sawtooth right in half. Here we go again. Must be the entrance to this den. There. That must be where the water's coming from. Looks like something the old ones built. Well, somebody wanted in. Nearly blew this entire ledge off just to get through the door.
Flooding detected. Evacuation recommended. Overflow basin compromised.
The overflow basin. Is that the din? Looks like a control center. What happened in here to start the water flowing? Another holographic interface. Piece is missing. Not getting in here without it. Are you alright?
You don't know how happy you just made me. For a moment, I thought my fire was snuffed. My forge gone cold. But nope, nope. Not old Gildan.
You're... welcome? Wait. Start from the beginning. What are you doing down here?
Ow! My apologies. When you mostly talk to yourself, you can tell your stories in whatever order you like. There's an artifact in that storage room I simply must acquire. But as you may have noticed, the door won't budge. I took one of those roundish, ringy what's-its from the wall beside the door. No luck. So I had to go with that panel with the button. Even less luck. My gentle experimentation caused the chamber to... flood. So I pushed the button again, perhaps a little too enthusiastically. Sparks and smoke. Now, obviously, I came here to investigate. My cautious footsteps may have contributed slightly to the collapse of a bridge. And when the bridge began to collapse, I may have, for the sake of expedience, abandoned the cumbersome ringy what's-it to the waves. By the time I thought to give up the endeavor, the door had closed behind me. And thusly do we come to the present moment.
You said something...
Indeed. That an inch. I've only seen one such device before. I remember.
And...
oh, I've wanted to find one for so...
well, there's no way we're getting into that storage...
You don't say. Well, that's fantastic news. Marvelous, even. You've got two hands. I've got two hands. Perfect! My savior, my salvation, and if you like, why wouldn't you? Of course you will. My accomplice. Together, that ring is as good as ours, and with it, the storage room and its spoils.
Didn't you say you dropped the ring in the water?
Well, I'll grant you that adds heretofore.
So, we need to replace that ring and get into the storage room. Then I can fix the panel and shut this place down.
And I can finally wrap my fingers around that looking glass.
Okay, Gildan. How are we gonna get that ring?
2 sets of hands, girl. 2 sets of hands. Behind us lie a pair of enormous gates, but I believe the gates must be operated in tandem.
Guess we better get started then.
I guess we better.
Quarters. No way I'd be able to swim.
Up ahead, girl. See the valve? Time to put our hands to use. I'll take care of this one. There's another valve on the other side to lock the gate in place. Would you mind heading across and doing the honors? You know, I thought I saw some kind of tunnel up there. Might provide a means to cross the gap. You know, I'm reminded of a delve I undertook out near the plain. A stone road, wild tunnel, lake-wide. It's been 13 levels. Dropped these unknown walls. This stone tower. Marvelous! You made it! Now grab that valve and give it a spin.
On it.
A little more now, and I should be able to get the blasted gate moving.
There. You should be able to lower the gate.
Huh? Right you are! Now, when I get this gate down, you'll need to turn the valve again. Ought to lock this thing in place.
One gate down.
Halfway through then, aren't we? To the second gate! A ladder is a rare and special thing, girl. can depend on it to take you exactly where you need to go, and no further. I'd wager the valves for the second sluice gate are somewhere above us. Now, how are we gonna get up there?
Looks like I could jump across on that rickety rusting platform. I found it.
Nice jump! Nice! What am I saying? That was stupendous! Never seen such absolute disregard for personal safety.
Thanks, I think.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! Caught sellouts and runaway cowards! We see her! I forgot the words. Shell, we started off so strong and then it all just... Well, that's sort of my MO. No. Switching gears. Band-Aid! We need one.
Ah, you're right above me. Just send that ladder on down.
Look out below.
Now, we've done this once before. Could be as easy as falling down a hole. If you take the valve on the other side...
If it's set up the same way on this side, I should look for an access tunnel. Okay, Gilden, turn the valve.
It's not working! Damn thing's too heavy. Glance behind me, would you? See anything big and, broken?
Looks like part of the counterweight broke off. If I can get up there, my weight might be enough to get it moving again. Hang on, okay? I've got a plan. I need to get up higher. I'd climb up that wreckage. That's pretty much what I do now. I can't jump straight to the counterweight from here. I could climb higher, get above it.
The drop's too far, man! Control falling. Very good.
Going down. We're good to go.
You were a sight to see. Bounding from metal rust trap to metal rust trap. Still a bit of water, but low enough, wouldn't you say? Now then, where's that ring?
Good question. Well, at least I should be able to swim, though.
Snap maw! It's a snap maw! Very, very big snap maw!
I see it, Gilden.
Very big, very, very big!
Just stay out of the way. It's dead.
Marvelous. So, the ring. Maybe if you pry its
You're
jaws
right.
open and reach
This
inside,
thing did swallow the ring.
That's the old Gildan intuition in action. It's never led me astray. Sure, its chosen routes can be a bit circuitous, but never mind. To the storage rooms, to the spoils.
Recording, okay? We're not even in the band meeting. Rabbits, right? Merch. We need merch. Stickers! You're not a real band until someone vandalizes government property with your sticker.
Colleagues, I have been asked to remind you that conversations determined to be irrelevant to servitor training are discouraged.
What were you saying about vandalizing government property?
Sure are a lot of valves. I should check my focus first. Alright, time to get the flow going to the right place.
I say this as a man typically enamored of complexities, but this looks like it might be a little much for me.
Don't worry, I think I've got this.
Music to my ears. To each job, its proper tool. Toothpicks make horrible arrows, as the saying goes. You got a competent mind, girl. A mind for nuance and finesse. Not I. No, indeed. Not old Gildan.
That didn't help. The water can't pass through.
This job demands a certain degree of patience, doesn't it? I'm afraid I inherited my mother's restlessness.
That's not quite right.
Been at this a while, girl. No room to judge, mind. I once spent half a day flummoxed by a Karja puzzle box.
Looks like I'm on the right track. There. One step closer. Getting there. Something's not right. There, that should do it. We should head back. See if that took care of the rest of it.
Got it working, did you? Of course you did. Never met a conundrum you couldn't unconundrum, have you?
The door's open. Guess it had sealed because of the flooding. This must go down to the lower level. Ugh, stinks down here. Looks like it's everything.
Smell that?
We should head back up with Gildan.
Smells like a forge-side morning in the claim.
Check this out! We could just bang on this pipe, you know? Could we sample that or... Totally! Like, what about after the... Oh, sorry. Just a sec. I need to take a break. Laura? Hey! Laura!
I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait! Almost there! Soon I'll hold the looking glass in my hand. Just like Mom and I used to.
The lock positions. Helpful.
What are you doing with your hands there, girl? I can't believe that worked. I thought you'd lost your mind, tickling the empty air like that.
I mean...
Where is it?
This is it.
Where did it go?
Play together, what? Maybe 2 more times? Ah, shucks. Farewell tour! Reunion tour in like 6 months. Dance to it all.
Gildan? Everything okay?
I was so sure I saw it. The looking glass. I was so sure. Right there in the window. I would... Of course. Trick of the light. Nothing at all.
I'm sorry, Gildan. It must have meant a lot to you.
Oh, well. Much as any artifact of the old ones would mean to me, really. It's fine. I'm fine. Besides, what are the spoils compared to the delve? That's why we do it, girl. The delve, not the treasure. And what a delve it was! Ugh. By the great blazing forge, I'll never forget that. Now then, I believe we have some repairs to make. Oh, that's a whole lot prettier, isn't it? What does it mean?
It means it worked.
By the forge! Ha! You are a wonder! Do you hear that often? I'll hazard a guess you do.
I've heard something like that once or twice.
Oh, she's modest now. A master of the arts of the old ones, a delver to shame the entire claim, and she wants to be modest. Ha!
It's not like I did it alone, Gildan.
No. No, I suppose not.
So what's next for you? On your way back to the claim?
And deprive the people of Song's Edge the story of this encounter? Perish the thought! I'll stay there a while longer. But a story is best told by all who encountered it. Come and lend a hand, won't you?
Overflow basin empty. Interior accessible. Minimal flood damage.
Sounds like the basin has dried out too. Maybe I'll take a look.
Another adventure so soon? Great for me. Well, there was no question of that.
Water's lower. And going by that sound, I think Laolai's already at the din. I can't feel much of anything in this. She wasn't kidding about the sound. You look happy to be playing again.
I don't know what you did, but the water drained in the snap of a short song. What do you think of the music?
I've never heard anything else like it.
That's because there's no other place with such resonance, such intonation that rattles your ribs with its power. And of course, no one else knows these pipes like I do. I learned them by ear before I could walk, strapped to my father's back. Thank you for draining the waters. Not just for myself, but for my ancestors and their songs. Please, take this as a token of our gratitude.